All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Lawrence Owen, and over the past couple years, I have made a lot of friends in this business. And this past year, I made a very good friend. His name's Zach Shomler. He's the host of Strong Opinion Sports. And, man, I love Zach. He's a great guy. And a lot of his opinions on certain situations, games, players, it's just whatever. You know, it's pretty level-headed. And I like that because he's a lot like me in that aspect. He doesn't let knee-jerk reactions really, hit him. He'll let that kind of slide. I don't know. It might help a little bit, being that he doesn't have a favorite NFL team, as opposed to me, where the poison of what happened on Sunday against the Jaguars and the Colts, I'm still trying to deal with. But I reached out to him a couple days ago, and he agreed that. You know what? He was going to do a wild card weekend prediction for games, and said, hey, I asked him, would you mind if I did a reaction to that? He said, absolutely. So, please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live or upload a video, because there will be a lot of those. And, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Because, I want to know what Zach thinks about this wild card weekend.
I want to talk about wild card weekend. There are 6 games this weekend to kick off the NFL playoffs. I want to make my predictions, tell you who I think will win each game. First, there are 2 games on Saturday, the Raiders at Cincinnati and the Patriots at Buffalo. Now, the Raiders have had a wild year. It's been kind of a magical run. They've overcome a lot of really hard stuff to deal with as a team. Unfortunately, because I like them. I got nothing but love for the Raiders and what they've done and the way they've overcome everything. Unfortunately, the magical run is going to come to an end on Saturday. I believe the Bengals will beat the Raiders. The Raiders' secondary is the main concern to me. I think Cincinnati's going to light them up. Joe Burrow, the starting quarterback in Cincinnati, who is very quickly becoming a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, he's going to have a big day. He's got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch. I guess really the Bengals' defensive line against the Raiders' offensive line. That's the Raiders' D-line is good. I'm curious how the Raiders' offensive line can handle them. But Cincinnati's going to win on Saturday. Game's on Saturday. And Jamar Chase, man, is going to have a really big day. Unless, all the Bengals receivers get injured and something crazy happens, Cincinnati should win this game on Saturday. Number 2, the Patriots.
All right, so I utterly agree with the Raiders, magical run with all the situations that they've dealt with, between their head coach, wide receivers, all sorts of stuff that's going on. Shout out Derek Carr has had an amazing season, putting that team on his back and driving literally the last 4 games of the season, winning all 4 games to make the play, including beating out the team that they leapfrogged in the Indianapolis Colts in Week 17. He was talking about the Raiders' defensive line versus the Raiders' offensive line, and I'm assuming he meant the Bengals versus the Raiders. Honestly, I think it's the flip. I think you need to look at the Raiders' defensive line versus the Bengals' offensive line, because that's how I think that this game is won by the Raiders. I'm actually going to go with the upset here. I think the Raiders is a wild card team that everybody looks at and goes, you're lucky to even be in there. And I think they pull this off. I think, Derek Carr still continues a really good run in the playoffs. Joe Burrow, yes, he's got a lot of weapons, but Yannick Ngakoue, Max Crosby. I don't know if you've seen Max Crosby this year, but that dude is just a monster, okay? He's going to make life absolute living hell for Joe Burrow. Burrow's got a lot of guys out there that he could throw the football to, like Zach said, but man, if the Raiders can do what they could do, especially on that defensive line, he ain't going to have time to get it to those guys. So, and Derek Carr, he's been doing really good. Jones and Hunter Renfrow, and from what I understand, Darren Waller will be back this coming game for Carr. So he's got weapons to throw to as well. You know, I like the Raiders in a really close, high-scoring game, maybe by 3. All right, but we're going to disagree on this game. I can see the Bengals winning, but I think the Raiders find a way to pull this off.
Patriots at Buffalo. This is my only pick from Wildcard Weekend that you could maybe consider an upset. It's not an upset to me because the Bills and the Patriots are very evenly matched, in my opinion. But the Bills are technically the higher seed, and there you go. Well, okay, maybe that's an upset because I believe New England will win this game on Saturday. The Bills already beat the Patriots once this year, and it's really, really hard to beat New England a second time in the same year. This is the third time they're playing each other. And Bill Belichick has a lot of film on Buffalo. He's seen how they're going to play stuff on defense and offense and how they're going to attack New England. So also on top of that, it's going to be freezing. The high temperature is supposed to be like freezing temperatures. It's going to be really, I think 0 degrees. Like, it's something insane. It's going to be very, very cold on Saturday night in Buffalo. And the Patriots' style and how they play is better suited for cold weather. They run the ball really well. They play good defense. They literally won a game this year where Mac Jones, by the way, against Buffalo, in Buffalo, they won a game this year in a situation where Mac Jones, their starting quarterback, threw the ball 3 times the entire game. It's not going to be easy for Josh Allen to run the ball on Saturday. On top of that, I'm worried about the Bills' defensive line. I think the Patriots are going to have a field day running the football. The Patriots will win. However, it's going to be an amazing game. This is a game I'm very, very excited for because it's a playoff game on a Saturday night in Buffalo, a crazy fan base that's wild and energetic and fun. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. I cannot wait to watch this game on Saturday night, but I have the Patriots winning nonetheless.
All right, so I get it. You're going back to the Buffalo game in Buffalo where Mac Jones only threw it 3 times. You know, there was like 40-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 60, you know, heavy rain. It was just a nasty game. It's just going to be cold in Buffalo, you know. You're not going to be seeing rain. You're not going to be seeing those high winds. You might see some winds, but you're not going to see the kind of winds that you saw in that game. You're going to see a game more like what they saw in New England where Buffalo just beat them, right? That's what I'm looking at. I think you're going to see more of a game like that. This is a game. Now, never, ever count out a Bill Belichick-led team, ever. He's a great coach, you know. Bill Belichick over Sean McDermott 10 out of 10 times. And that's why I'm looking at this game going, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's a cold weather game, but it's the Buffalo Bills. They live in the cold, right? They live in those nasty weather conditions. Believe it or not, when they lost to New England in Buffalo, Josh Allen had like multiple opportunities to win that game and didn't, you know. Bad decision or you know, a missed throw or something of that nature. He should have won that game even when New England went there. I guarantee Mac is not throwing the ball 3 times in this game. All right, Mac Jones will throw the ball more than 3 times. And if Buffalo don't win, I think there should be serious consideration of moving on from Sean McDermott. Because it took him how many games, and I'm not even talking about this year, to decide to, you know what, we need to take a little pressure off of Josh Allen and actually run the ball with running backs a little bit more. Took him how many games? I'm not even talking about this year. It went into last year and the year before, right? They gave up on the run game. The last few games, they started running the football. I think they continue to do that. I think Buffalo wins this game. I think they win it handily. And, you know, good luck to them. Either way, both teams, man, New England they have a shot at winning this. They absolutely do. Like I said, I can't rule out a Bill Belichick led team, but yeah, I got to give this one to Buffalo. I have to.
Okay, there are 3 games on Sunday. Number 1, the Eagles will lose to Tampa on Sunday. They're on the road. Look, Philly's offense is built around running the football. And unfortunately for them, the Buccaneers' defense is arguably the best defense in the league at stopping the run. And as much as I love Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, I love their head coach, Nick Sirianni, they're kind of just glad to be here. They're glad to be in the playoffs at all, whereas Tampa is a legit Super Bowl contender. This one feels like a mismatch. The Buccaneers on Tom Brady are going to win on Sunday. How about the
Hold on now. I agree. You got best versus best in this game. Okay, Zach? I utterly agree. Tampa's best run defense in football. Not arguably. They are the best run defense in football. Philly has the number 1 run offense in football, led by Jalen Hurts. They played already this year. Jalen Hurts had like 120 yards rushing against him. They lost. But still, they were able to run the football. My only thing is I don't trust Jalen Hurts to be able to throw them into a win. I think this game, the more I think this game might be closer than what, you normally would think about, because you got to realize Tom doesn't have a few players with him right now, right? He's got 2 of his wide receivers, 2 of his prime wide receivers that he wants and used all year is not in this game. One obviously got hurt. One obviously decided that he was just going to take his shirt off and walk away. So, but I still think that this Tampa defense does enough to slow down the Eagles' offense. And Tom Brady still has, 3 tight ends to throw to, plus Mike Evans. Yeah, and then we can't forget about Leonard Fournette. So, yeah, this is a great... I agree. I think Tampa wins this game, but I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as what you think it is.
49ers at the Cowboys. I feel like the 49ers do some good stuff. I like them. I love Deebo Samuel. And I got nothing but I don't hate the 49ers, but I do believe Dallas will win this football game for 2 very, very simple reasons. Number 1, which team has a better roster all around? Dallas. They've got a lot of firepower on offense. They've got playmakers on defense. Micah Parsons, Javon Diggs. Who's got a better quarterback, by the way? Also, Dallas, right? Dak Prescott or Jimmy Garoppolo? I'd take Dak Prescott any day. And so because they've got a better team with a better quarterback, I'm going to pick Dallas to win this football game. But I would like to see the 49ers do well. And this could be Jimmy Garoppolo's final game as a starting quarterback in San Francisco, or at least with the 49ers. They're playing on the road in Dallas. But I got Dallas winning on Sunday. The third game.
All right. I agree. I got Dallas winning. And the main reason is the quarterback matchup, right? I look at it this way. Do I trust Jimmy Garoppolo if Dallas's high-powered offense, even with one of their receivers gone, if they jump up to 2 scores, can I put Jimmy Garoppolo, if I drop him in that situation, do I think he could throw this team back at? No. Film after film after film, history says that you cannot trust Jimmy Garoppolo to throw that football downfield further than 15 yards. He's amazing at being able to lead his receivers into situations where they can get yak yards. Deebo Samuel and his tight end George Kittle, great. But he's not hitting them downfield, 20, 30, 40 yards downfield, making big plays. Whereas on the opposite end, if San Francisco happens to run the football and do their little, crazy schemes on offense and able to get up by 10 or something like that in the first half, I believe Dak Prescott Zach, you're on my mind apparently. But I believe Dak Prescott in this offense, especially with their number one running back, not named Zeke Elliott, by the way, having him back, I believe in that team that they can actually make up points in the second half when they need to. Dak's done it before, right? And, like you said, Micah Parsons, great linebacker for a rookie. I think he's been an absolute phenom this year. I'm not sold on Trevon Diggs. Yes, he leads the league in interceptions, but I mean, he also leads the league in almost every negative category in the NFL for a defensive back, right? Yardage and all that crap. So I'm not 100% sold on Trevon Diggs. I honestly think that Trevon should play more of a safety role in this game, just in case, especially if Dallas gets into a lead, just in case Jimmy decides has to throw it downfield a little bit, then that'll put Trevon in a situation where, his biggest asset, being able to intercept the football, will come into play. I got Dallas winning this. I got them rolling with this. Easily 2 scores, in my opinion.
Game on Sunday. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Kansas City will win this game. And they're actually, they're such a complete football team. They're so different than they were to start the year. They've gotten better and better as the year went on. The defense is so good. And, man, I actually believe that this has been a very important year of growth for a starting quarterback in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. He's a star. He's a gunslinger. Everyone knows he's incredibly talented. But this year forced him to kind of develop a little bit and polish even farther than just a guy who can make crazy throws and do crazy stuff. Because he's become an even better decision maker. He's taking what the defense gives him. If there's nothing open vertically, he's finding his check down. He's finding stuff underneath. He had a 17-play drive last week against Denver. Blew my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize he was capable of that. And he's just done that more and more as the year has gone on. And even though it's, Big Ben's final game for the Steelers, probably it's his last ride. We'll say it may not be his final game. I'm going to leave the door open for Pittsburgh to win the game. I don't want to be so, doom and gloom and definitive, but it's Big Ben's final ride with his team in Pittsburgh, and I wouldn't mind seeing magic happen. I'm not against Pittsburgh. I love their running back Najee Harris, but I believe Kansas City will win this game, and I think most people, even Steelers fans, would agree with me on that.
Yeah, even Steelers fan believe. I mean, what didn't Big Ben go out and say we have no shot at winning this game? They do have a shot at winning this game. Okay, I'm not saying they don't. We've seen the Steelers get down 24 points in the fourth quarter multiple times this year, and the defense comes alive. The offense comes alive, and all of a sudden it's a game, right? So, I mean, they have a shot, and that shot is going to lean on 2 specific players on either side of the ball, right? TJ Watt, Najee Harris, just like you said, right? Najee Harris, really good, underrated running back in the NFL, I think, especially with what the Steelers have brought this year. If there is a weakness on the Kansas City defense, it is their run D. And Najee could have himself a decent bit of a game in this game. And, if there's a weakness on the Kansas City offense, it's their pass protection. And TJ Watt broke the NFL record for sacks this year. TJ is a monster. So I could see TJ having a good game in this game and disrupting, getting some sacks, getting some hits, getting some pressure. We've seen what happened when he was under pressure a lot in the last Super Bowl they played in. Patrick Mahomes and this offense looked absolutely awful, right? Well, the Steelers are that kind of team who love to bring blitzes and love to get pressure on quarterbacks. So, I mean, that kind of situation. Now, obviously, Pittsburgh's offense is not the same as Tampa Bay and Tom Brady and all the guys that he has, all right? Steelers have got some weapons on offense, but, Ben is not Brady. Not right now, not at this current time. maybe never, but I mean, right now, Brady has not dropped off as much as Big Ben has, in recent years. So even though I got Kansas City winning this, I'm not shutting the door on Pittsburgh. It's got to be open because there are ways for them to win this game.
How about Monday? A Monday night football playoff game. I want to say this right off the bat. This is a disadvantage, and I don't love this because you lose a day of preparation. Every other team plays on Saturday or Sunday, so they have 6 or even 7 days to prepare for their next game. When you play on Monday, you've got a very short week going into the next round of the playoffs. I don't like that. That's a weird thing I'm uncomfortable with. Now, the good news is I don't think either of these football teams has a real legitimate shot to win a Super Bowl. So, no harm, no foul, in my opinion. It's not like you're taking away an opportunity from a true top contender.
I disagree. And
I really have no idea who's going to win this game, and I know I just dumped a lot of information people are very angry about. Let me explain. And I guess if I have to pick someone to win this football game, I'll go with the LA Rams because I think that what they have on defense is more defensive playmakers, guys who can force a turnover or make something happen. You got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller. So even though I have no idea, if you want me to pick a team, gun to my head, I'll pick the Rams. But the reality is I don't know who's going to win this football game. But here's a valuable prediction I can give you, something that has got some substance that is interesting to me. I want to predict how the game will go, maybe the flow of the game. Because both teams have really, really big problems, in my opinion. Arizona's problem is that they make a ton of mistakes in big moments, whether it's a bad snap or penalties or drop passes or running the wrong route or miscommunication.
They definitely have done that the last 4 or 5
Green Bay in the
weeks.
end zone with A.J. Green, one of your top receivers. They have everything. You name it. The Arizona Cardinals find a way to make mistakes in key moments in football games, and they have all year. They got a lot of talent, but they get in their own way. That's also how you could describe the Rams starting quarterback, Matthew Stafford. A lot of talent, but he gets in his own way. The Rams starting quarterback, Matthew Stafford, seems to love, for some reason, I don't know why. I'm convinced he must really love throwing terrible, boneheaded interceptions. I don't know why he does it. Every single game, there's a throw or two where you're like, bro, what's happened? Why did you make that throw? I watched him against Tampa earlier. I think it was Tampa this year, early on. He made a couple throws that he didn't get picked off on, but he literally, you could see on his face, he was like, I just got really lucky. And it doesn't go away. It's just who he is. And so
I got to pause that because you could take exactly what you just said there, word for word, Zach, and say that I have said that about Carson Wentz all year, right? I mean, guaranteed every game to have one play where you're just like, what was that? What the heck was that? And Stafford is the same way, but the thing is, Stafford also, he has the ability, and he shows it game in, game out, much like Andrew Luck, where he also had those boneheaded plays where he would do it as well, but his ability was so high, and this is the same with Stafford, so high that he can make up for those mistakes in 1 or 2 throws. Even if it did end up like a pick 6, 2 throws later when they get the ball back after that pick 6, it could be a 35-yard, then a 45-yard touchdown. Bam, he made up for it. That's why I'm okay with those kind of plays as long as you got the talent to be able to make up for that. Because you're only going to see 1, maybe 2 of those plays a game, whereas the rest of the game you're going to get freaking wow plays most of the time, right? I mean, that's how I see it.
By the way, last week the Rams blew a 17-0 lead against the 49ers, and Stafford had a chance to win the game in overtime, and he threw an interception again, right? That's who he is.
Yep.
So here's what I predict from this football game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. A lot of talent on both sides of the field. Rams, Cardinals, they're both good teams. They've played each other twice this year. They've each won 1 game. Now, neither team's going to win a Super Bowl because of the problems I said earlier. Arizona's got all that kinds of mistakes. I think it's a coaching issue or some kind of lack of detail. And the Rams have Matthew Stafford, who loves throwing boneheaded interceptions. So My prediction is this game will be decided by some kind of a late mistake, a bad penalty, a turnover, a fumble. Something bad is going to happen at the end of this football game, and it's going to be a deciding factor. This game will not have a clean ending where you're like, oh my gosh, the hero, Matthew Stafford throws a game-winning touchdown. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen here is the game will be decided by some kind of an ugly mistake at the end, and that is my prediction for the Cardinals and the Rams. Enjoy it, man. It's going to be an amazing, amazing weekend of football. I cannot wait. And
all right. So I'm going to have a prediction as well. I agree. I think the Rams win this game, and it's because of the defense, like you said. Now, there's a chance J.J. Watt come back and play in this game. If so, you got Chandler Jones, Watt, opposite end, bookends, pass rushers. That's a big help on the Cardinals. But ever since Hopkins has been gone, right, Kyler Murray looks lost half the time. Him and A.J. Green's not on the same page. Christian Kirk's trying to step up, but he just can't be the Hopkins that Murray needs. And then you go over and you look at the Rams. And I disagree. I think the Rams can be a Super Bowl team. It's those mistakes. I agree. But because of that ability that I said to make up for those mistakes at times, he's got to learn to limit those mistakes in the playoffs. And we're going to find out if he can. If he can, this is a Super Bowl team, right? At least my thought. I think so. But this game's going to go completely different. I think the Rams win. I think they win by double digits. And there will be a clear, oh my God, you're the superhero of this game, in my opinion. And it's going to go to the wrong people. All right? It's going to go to the defense. Because I think Aaron Donald is going to get pressure up the middle, force Murray out of the pocket and make boneheaded mistakes a lot. Not just Aaron Donald. That whole pass rush, I think, is going to get into Kyler Murray's face and force him. And the difference here in this game is, okay, so he's got Christian Kirk and A.J. Green to throw to. Well, you could guarantee take one of those guys completely out of the game because, Jalen Ramsey will be on them. So that means he's got one guy to throw to. And then you're going to have mistakes happen. On the flip side, who's going to stop Cooper Kupp? Who is going to stop Odell Beckham Jr.? Right? Who is going to stop this run game? I see, in my opinion, the pass rush is going to win this game for the Rams. And then the offense is just going to play their normal game against a normal defense. Right? So it's going to look like, a 31-21 game in favor of the Rams. But, and you're going to be like, oh, well, they scored 10 more points. So, it's Matt Stafford or this offense or whatever. But it's the defense. I could even see more of a 31-17 game here. I think this pass rush forcing Kyler Murray into mistakes and stuff. I think that's going to be the big key in this. Guys, he's right. It's going to be a great wild card weekend. Go check out Zach Shomler, Strong Opinion Sports. Link is in the description of this video. Make sure you subscribe to him. I love his takes. And shout out for giving me permission to react to your video. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. Don't forget to smash my like button and subscribe to my channel. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.